voters and engaging in a passionate debate about our country's direction. I am grateful to all those who opened their homes and their hearts, to those who shared their experiences with me, and who made it possible for me to explore the prospect of a presidential campaign. Thank you for your encouragement. Today, I am officially declaring my candidacy for the Democratic nomination for President of the United States. I am running for the Democratic nomination because I believe this party ought to stand for inclusion, hope, and new ways to resolve old problems. I am fighting for the nomination because I am determined to move our party in the direction of our nation's most noble ideals and live up to our generation's duty to leave the next generation no less freedom, no less opportunity, no less optimism than we inherited from our ancestors. I am dedicated to building partnerships for peace, prosperity, and progress based on new ideas that are as practical as they are innovative. These partnerships will help shape an American renaissance and renewal in the best traditions of our country. I have the experience, the ability, and the ideas to heal and renew America. In all of my public service, I have broken down barriers, built bridges, and brought people together to achieve solutions that put the public interest first. As a young federal prosecutor, I won a Justice Department award for my work to put an end to exploitation in housing policy. As a state representative, I fought for education and passed laws to create the first local school councils and agriculture schools in Illinois. My colleagues voted me Conscience of the House for my advocacy of the poor. As a county executive, I convened the first advisory council and worked with organized labor to improve conditions for the employees and the public. When I left the office, it had become a profit center for Cook County, the workers were better off, and the public was better served. As a United States Senator, and as the first woman to serve on the Finance Committee, I passed laws for women's pension equity and for environmental remediation and alternative energy, for school modernization and restoration of the interest deduction for college loans. You all like to hear that, right? As ambassador, I was credited with improving relations on behalf of the United States and was the first envoy to be made an honorary member of the Te'atiawa Maori tribe. Breaking barriers, building bridges, bringing people together. I have been blessed to be an agent for change and progress, but I cannot take full personal credit for these accomplishments. I have always depended on the help and support of people of goodwill who had the vision to imagine the possibilities born of giving me a chance to contribute. I tell people what I believe in, I keep my promises, and I hold myself accountable for my service. My entire public life has been characterized by problem solving with new ideas that are as practical as they are innovative, and I want to bring my skills and my experience to bear on healing our country and creating a renaissance for America. Through partnerships for peace and prosperity and progress, we will renew the American dream of freedom and opportunity. We can make our economy work for everybody, not just the already wealthy, and ensure families that they will be able to provide decent housing, health care, education, retirement, and safety to those they love the most. We will turn away from the bluster and the bravado that has so soured our friendships and alliances around the world and build on our global relationships. We will respect individuals in their private lives, in their professional endeavors, and in their civic engagements. And we will tap the talent that is available to us without limitation of any aspect of personality that serves to divide instead of glorify the human condition. America will be stronger when we engage the full range of talent that is at our disposal and when we live up to our most fundamental national virtues. We can and we must renew the American spirit. What makes this country great is not the size of its military or its budget or its wealth, but the spirit of her people. That spirit has been battered since September 11, not only by the criminals who killed so many people, but by leaders who have pandered to fear in its aftermath. We must not allow the nightmare of our limitations to continue, but instead dream a world of the best of who we are. When we come together to create partnerships for peace and prosperity and progress, we will heal the American spirit. Partnerships for peace will bring a real end to this Iraqi war and bring our troops home with honor. Americans don't cut and run, and so we have to see this misadventure through to a noble conclusion. The sacrifice of those who lost their lives in the sands of Iraq will not be forgotten, but neither will the folly of preemptive war. Partnerships for peace will build on the goodwill that we had after September 11th and engage our allies to help us leave Iraq better than we found it. Partnerships for peace will give our international institutions new support for global collaborations to fight crime and terrorism, poverty, and disease. Our foreign policy will follow our values and serve the interests of the American people. Trade can create opportunity to share those values, not lose our jobs. And we can engage our private sector in ways that will bolster their bottom line, stem job hemorrhage at home, and help stop the exploitations of workers and the environment around the world. I want to forge partnerships for prosperity that will explore new policies to stop our nation's slide toward embedded wealth, entrenched poverty, and a shrinking middle class. When we pursue balance in our economic order, we will embrace fiscal, monetary, and trade policies that put working people first. Economic policy is so intertwined with our nation's social fabric that government has a special duty to protect the people from the forces of private interest and greed. I believe in fiscal responsibility and fighting for social justice. Partnerships for prosperity will give us opportunity to do good, to do good and do well simultaneously. We will fight the greedy, whose excesses and crimes have threatened our capital markets and undermined confidence in our economy, and we will help the needy, whether in childhood or retirement, in sickness or despair. Achieving a balanced budget again will help restore confidence in our policymakers' ability to protect our nation's economic health. This administration had no right to make irresponsible spending decisions that simply shifted the payment burden onto those least able to pay, or to state and local governments, or worse still, to our children and our grandchildren. Without spending a dime more than we already pay, we can in fact provide health security that emphasizes wellness, restores the provider-patient relationship, and maintains the quality of care that Americans have every right to expect. Embracing a single-payer system of health insurance that does not depend on employment will not only provide universal coverage, but boost our international competitiveness, stimulate our economy at home, and let workers keep more of their pay. Education reform that relieves the burden on local property taxpayers, while empowering parents and teachers to pursue excellence and innovation, is an opportunity for a partnership for prosperity that we cannot afford to ignore if we are to keep our country strong. The cornerstone of the American dream of opportunity is education. It is the way our workforce is prepared to engage the rest of the world. But education is not just a private benefit, it is a public good as well.